So welcome to the Aurecon booth. We've got a pretty great lineup today, and to kick it off, we've got our Limelight team, which are our young professionals. So I won't talk too much to that, but we'll have a little bit of a presentation to start with, and then we'll do some Q&A. So really encourage you to pop any questions and comments down through the chat. And like I say, I might even do the unmute if we stay a small group, and then we can all just chat together. If it gets any bigger, it's a little bit harder to manage. But do enjoy the day. I'm going to hand over to Lee now, and he'll kick us off.
No dramas. Thanks, Kelly. So I'm Lee Williams. I am a flood modeller based in our Newcastle office, and I've been with Aurecon for a little over a year. India.
Hi, I'm Vindia, and I am a flooding and drainage engineer at in the Brisbane office. And I've also been at Aurecon for just over a year as an undergrad and now as a grad. Over to you, Nick.
Thanks, Vindia. Hi everyone. My name's Nick Young, and I work as a consultant in the asset management and performance team, and that's here in Aurecon in Brisbane. I started with Aurecon back in December last year as an undergraduate with the internship program, and I recently completed my final semester of uni while I worked part-time at Aurecon. So I was actually fortunate enough to be offered a full-time position once I graduated, and I began that around 2 weeks ago. Next slide, please, Kelly. Cool. So I first came across Limelight back when I was first applying for the internship program. I noticed that Aurecon had this, essentially a social committee that was for elevating emerging professionals and helping them to transition into the company. And I thought that sounded really great. And so emerging professionals are typically those within their first 5 years of their career. And Limelight provides a platform for this cohort to meet new people within the business, contribute their innovative ideas, make some really great friends, participating in some really fun social events. So Limelight itself is actually run by emerging professionals, with Vinja and myself being the two of the three co-chairs for Limelight in Brisbane, as well as leading the Limelight chair in Newcastle. A big part of our role is to provide support services to other emerging professionals in the company, while also acting as a voice for the emerging professional cohort. So we are tasked with planning internal and external functions, as well as learning sessions which facilitate the personal and professional development of our emerging professionals. I've only been the co-chair of Limelight for around 6 weeks now, but in this time I've met some fantastic people within the company, and I've begun some preparations on some really interesting virtual events, with the hope that we can actually have some in-person events maybe later this year or next. So Limelight is a fantastic committee to be a part of, and I love the connectedness that it brings, especially for new people joining the company. Next slide, please, Kelly. So for me, being an emerging professional at Aurecon so far has been a really rich and rewarding experience, and I've had the opportunity to work on a variety of interesting and challenging projects. The support network within my team and the rest of Aurecon is really great, with multiple people always willing to lend a hand if I don't understand something or if I need some extra help, which I think is really important for young engineers coming into the workforce. Because of the culture of continual improvement at Aurecon, I've always felt comfortable with voicing my opinions and ideas surrounding the projects that we work on. And I've even been given a degree of flexibility surrounding the approach that I can take in completing certain projects. I feel as though the work I've been doing is making a real impact, and I can really see how it helps the clients, which is extremely motivating for me personally. Aside from the actual work, another thing I love about Aurecon is the people and the friendships I've made through Limelight and the internship program. Though it's been difficult while working from home, before COVID, I really enjoyed catching up with my diverse group of friends over lunch. So each of us was from, different backgrounds, working in different teams, working on different projects, but we're all still able to come together and just, chat over lunch. And we often would even make plans to hang out after work and other things like that. So that social aspect is something that truly makes Aurecon a fantastic place to work, in my opinion. Over to you, Vindia.
Thanks, Nick. Next slide, please, Kelly. Awesome. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the support network that's available for you at Aurecon, as well as opportunities that you will get as an EP, and a little bit about opportunities that will further your career a little bit later on through your career. The reason why I thought this would be a great talking point is purely because as an undergrad, I was really curious what sort of support network grads would have when they started. And obviously, when you're transitioning through from uni to work, you really want to know that you have a support network and the right people around you to really help you with that transition. So I think Nick's really gone through Limelight in a good amount of detail. So I'm not going to go into that a bit, but we'll start by talking about the onboarding process. So when you first start at Aurecon, you'll be introduced to Aurecon as a business and where you fit in amongst everything through the onboarding process. So through onboarding, in the first few months of work, you will get to attend onboarding sessions, which are typically run by a HR. And they'll basically introduce you to the other new starters, and you'll get to participate in the activities I've listed down there, Base Camp, Fireside Chat, and the Blue Sky Summit. And during these sessions, you'll get to meet and ask questions with more senior leaders within the company. And you'll also just get a better overall idea of what Aurecon values, who Aurecon is as a business, and as well as where you fit in amongst everything else. So I found that really beneficial. Another part of the onboarding process, which I really enjoyed, was having a buddy. My buddy was my lifesaver. And essentially, your buddy is a person that you're introduced to on your first day of work, and they're in your team, and their job essentially is to tell you anything and everything that you don't know. So any questions you have, straight to them, and they'll just help you settle into your team and get to know the other people in your team as well. So a really important part of onboarding. And the final part of onboarding, which I thought I would mention, is Limelight Week. So Limelight Week is organized by co-chairs, and it's essentially a week dedicated to Limelight events and activities, and it really just helps you settle in, not also just within your team, but also within the wider office. So you'll get to meet EPs from other teams, get to know what they're doing, and it's just a great way to network and really just expand, you know, your friends and your social groups as well. So yeah, let's go on to mentoring and career advice. Sorry, Kelly, I think you've gone on to the next slide. Thanks. With mentoring and career advice, your line manager is essentially your first port of call. So they're responsible for checking in on you, helping you formulate your career goals and finding ways to develop you as a professional. But as well as that, there are also mentoring opportunities outside of Aurecon that are available to you. So for example, as a flooding and drainage engineer, I was lucky enough to get the opportunity to get a mentor through the Australian Water Association's mentoring program. And basically what I do with my mentor is we meet monthly, we talk about career goals, we talk about what's happening in industry. And it's a really nice way to just get an external point of view of, you know, how to shape your career. So the person that is my mentor, he actually works at Southeast Queensland Water. So it's nice to have someone with a different perspective. So I think that's mentoring and career advice covered. Let's talk about health and well-being. Health and well-being at Aurecon is a priority, and there's a large support network in this area. I can guarantee that. So we have things like lunchtime yoga sessions, virtual yoga at the moment, of course, volunteering opportunities through CSR, fitness training after work. There's just a lot of opportunities to get involved and get de-stressed. We also have trained mental health first aiders in each of our units, as well as a designated diversity and inclusion committee. And in addition to that, we also have the employee assistance program. So the employee assistance program is funded by Aurecon, and it allows for any employee to have access to free financial, legal, and counseling services, which is an awesome thing. Let's talk a bit about technical and soft skill development. So there are lots of different ways in which Aurecon supports professional development of their EPs, whether that's through professional accreditation support, as well as opportunities to present and attend technical conferences. So earlier this year, right before COVID hit, I was lucky enough to go to a Young Water Professionals conference. It was held in Brisbane this year, and basically I got to meet with other young water professionals in other companies and just talk with them about all the new things that are happening in water resources and in the industry. And it was a really great experience. And it's those sort of experiences, I guess, which sort of also help you know where you want to go in your career. So there's definitely a lot of those opportunities. But in addition to that, there's also great, I guess, specific technical skill opportunities through things like webinars and lunch and learns. So lunch and learns is something that my team does a lot, where basically any member of the team, if they have any tip or trick about anything technical, they'll set up a lunch and learn where basically during your lunchtime for an hour, you'll just go through a crash course in whatever that specific topic is. And you'll be amazed at what you can learn in an hour. And because they're sort of a crash course, it just gives you those key points. It's a great way to knowledge share and learn. But aside from that as well, with other grads in your team, you'll also get to knowledge share in that aspect as well and just learn from each other. Definitely something that I do is I have grads who are a few years, or they're grads in their second year or their third year, and often when I make a mistake, they've been through that. So going to them is always my first port of call because they've been through it recently and they know, and I just find it so much easier to, you know, talk with them. Not saying that you can't talk to seniors, but like it's just so much easier with grads as well because they just know what you're going through and the mistakes that you're making, they've made as well. I'm sure the other grads can attest to that. So as you can see, it's quite a few different ways to gain your technical skills and soft skills. I think I'll talk a little bit about Design Academy and I-40, and then we'll move on to the video. So Design Academy and I-40 Plus, I've got them in the technical development category as well. And they're basically initiatives done by Aurecon, which are ways for colleagues to improve the way that they design. Design Academy is particularly special because you actually have to apply for it, and they only take the best and most passionate design engineers, or design consultants. You have to be an engineer. And essentially it teaches you over the course of 3 years how to think and collaborate in a transdisciplinary environment. That's sort of their focus. And it's a great opportunity run within Aurecon, and it's just those sort of, I guess, learning opportunities which are so special to our company. Yeah, so I think I've summarized most of the opportunities there, a few more in there, but try to explain the ones that require a bit more detailed description. So I hope that's a good explanation. I think overall it's been great to be able to have all the support as an EP. And I think my resilience was particularly tested during COVID when I had to start working from home with basically 2 months worth of grad experience, even though I had a little bit of undergrad experience. So the next slide is going to be a video which was created by the LIMELIGHT Brisbane team about working from home experiences. So I hope you enjoy that. Thanks. I'm not sure if the sound is working.
Yeah, I can't hear sound if there's supposed to be sound here.
Might just get you to try and narrate some of this, Finja. Might make life a little easy.
Sure. So basically, everyone was asked to send in pictures of what they've been doing while they were working from home. And these are just a few of the things that people got up to while trying to not go crazy at home. This included things like home renovation projects, I guess, to keeping their beds tidy, to painting, again, home reno. And as it says here, this is how our team stayed connected. So there were a lot of virtual events that happened, virtual bring your own drink, coffee sessions, as well as trivia. My team did a bit of trivia, virtual trivia and online bingo as well to keep connected. I think the video has paused. Oh no, just loading. Yeah, it's just more ways to keep things fun.
Hat of the day.
There was also like song of the day as well. Like one of my friends' teams did that, song of the day. And of course, pets. I like that one.
Yes, I've definitely gotten cozy with my 3 cats at home, working from home.
Yeah.
Don't leave the desk.
I think they appreciate it though, because, you know, normally they have to wait the whole day to see you, but now it's like.
Now you don't leave.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I think it's
Fucking multiple
loading a bit.
I don't know how they used to handle it when I wasn't here all day.
Oh yeah, this is Chloe and Misaki from my team. They were going to go to the Middle East for a bit of backstory, and then COVID hit. And then right at the start, before they closed the borders, they were still considering going, but then obviously closed the borders. So then they were like, can't go. So Chloe decided to spam us with these photos of her photoshopped into pictures in the Middle East. I think she's speaking later on today as well. In one of the latest sessions. Thank you, everyone. I think I'm going back to Nick.
Thanks, Vindia. Apologies about the audio, guys. We'll do a bit of troubleshooting later on if there's, we've got a couple of other videos in some other sessions. So.
Thanks, Kelly. No worries.
Cool. All right. Go to the next slide, please, when you get a chance. Cool. All right, so my transition from uni to working was pretty gradual over about 2.5 years, where I worked in the industry either part-time at uni or full-time during the holidays. When I was hired by Aurecon back in December last year, compared to other jobs I've had, I felt that I settled in really quickly and I felt like I was like a part of the team, like almost from day dot. Yeah, on my first day, I was nominated a buddy who was an experienced team member that was always available to, answer my questions I might have while I settled in. I also attended a welcome ritual called Base Camp that ran me through Aurecon's principles and the company's strategy, while it also provided me with some key resources that I can access to help me as I settle into the company. Limelight also provided a fantastic platform for meeting new people and helping me to understand more about the business. Once I began my final semester of uni, I shifted my hours back to part-time and my workload was wound back to suit that. My team was also really flexible with my hours and I was easily able to, get time off around exams or other large pieces of assessment, which, really gave me a lot of peace of mind, especially while I was finishing my studies, doing my thesis, that kind of thing. When I moved into my full-time grad role around 2 weeks ago, I had a check-in conversation with my line manager and basically just discussed upcoming projects as well as my new role and my new responsibilities. Also set out some goals that I want to achieve. The transparency and support I received truly made my transition into a full-time grad position as easy as it could be, and I'm really looking forward to continuing my time with Aurecon and contributing to some really meaningful projects and meeting some great people and just doing some really fun events in Limelight. And I think that's the end of our presentation. So I guess, we're gonna hand it over to you guys for any questions you guys may have around, Limelight or, starting Aurecon or Aurecon in general. We'll be happy to help.